But you know, the enemy is tactical, so don't be killing it by 13 minutes per statement. So,
Yes, I will work on
and it's funny how people work on things while they're working on things.
it. Right,
Um,
right.
like I've been
How
working on not smoking and drinking for 13 years, and
you still?
you a day not you a
Yeah,
day
yeah,
clean? What do
yeah.
you
How do people that don't
how
have
you
nothing?
relapse just like you just put the can down?
You just told me 30 seconds ago.
This is AA. Why you in here drinking
What?
today?
Right. What, I have emphysema.
And bronchitis. I don't even know if that's a
But
thing.
what was it? The people they ain't ever got nothing going on, but always got something going on. Always busy.
Trevor?
No,
Oh,
right,
a buffer.
right,
Buffer.
right. Always,
Buff, 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 buff.
always busy. Ain't never busy. How you busy? Ain't never busy.
Stop buffing,
You
girl.
ain't busy, but you always
Come here.
busy.
I see you crawling across the wall over there trying to eavesdrop on
Right,
your man
right,
and what he
okay.
talking about. Come on here, girl. Don't do that. Quit that. Um, listen.
Quit it.
Yeah, but that that puts a W in front of it, which makes it a bad word then because it brings in a connotation for quagmire.
Hmm. Or white. It's a whole cuss
Nope,
word.
you're not gonna get me. Um, listen, I wanted to pour into somebody today and let you know that the biggest enemy you'll ever face beyond a Trevor and a Jeremiah is going to be a you. That's significant for me. I know we may be opposing here, trying to find out what the position that we personally stand in, and then spiritually as well. Um, I just really don't see the devil in the Bible in the depiction that we like him to be on this side. I feel like men are influenced by our own bad deeds, our own wrong ways. That it only makes sense to us to create something that is apart from us, that doesn't exist to us, but then make him so we can use him uh, as a scapegoat for us. And so God would create man with free will. You have the will to choose right and wrong, good and bad. Um, but in the story of Genesis, I just don't see the influence of the enemy there, other than the one that is the enemy, as far as Adam taking on to himself what it is that he would succumb to, disobeying or choosing the wrong choice. Um, Not the greatest choice too. And then I see the same thing with Cain and Abel as well. Um, it's God outlines the future for him. That here stands before you two doors.
Mm-hmm.
At one of them, if you go down this way, sin lies ahead. Now we do
Right.
know the wages of sin equals death. That you work in sin, and your payment at the end of whatever is death. Now that don't mean all the time dying if every Friday, but I think death would be the working in things that lead you to a detrimental past. I mean, future that just is for the death of you, and I think we see that as far as Adam is concerned, and as far as Cain is concerned as well. Their life just leaves a trail behind of dead bodies.
I actually am in agreement with you on that. In the story of Adam and Eve, God specifically never said you eat from this that's sin. He said don't
Right.
do it. That's all. He specifically said don't do it. Um, that would be in the whole mindset of the free will. Um, don't eat from the fruit, or don't eat the fruit of this tree. If you do, you will surely die. That's your free will. If you want to die, then you would eat from the tree. That wouldn't be sin. That would just be disobedience, which is not a sin. There's specific things that you have as sin. Now, what Cain did later on would be considered sin, and it would be noted later on in the Bible. Um, Thou shalt not kill. Um, it 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 don't, just speaking as far as relevance of the Ten Commandments, it doesn't say thou shalt not disobey God. It just says thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not have any other gods or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like there's no specific one that says don't disobey me now. It says don't do certain things. And then later on it goes in the text it says, if you love me, keep my commandments. It's still not a sin. So I do agree with you on that aspect of it. As far as the issue of it, it would be us, the inner me. Break it word down as enemy, the inner me. It's like, so when Adam ate from the tree of was it knowledge?
Yeah.
Of the knowledge of good and evil. Yeah, so that's when he opened the door of what doing wrong would be. So now it would be, I get jealous or whatever the case may be. I get angry, so now I would do something to cause me to commit sin. So since that door is open now, that's where the burden, the buck fell on Cain, because he would be in that element, being their child, so to speak, and he fell victim to sin. God said sin lies at the door. You do this, sin lies at the door. That's the first marking of sin. So it's like we can't blame a being that we righteously never seen before, because it says nothing in the text about Satan, devil, Lucifer being right there next to or Cain, right there on the shoulder or whatever. Hit him. It doesn't. So we can't blame something that we don't know or we don't see for our own mistakes. That's right. I do believe, though, that Lucifer is a real being, entity, whatever the case may be. So there's no real connotation of him being cast out of heaven. It does say, it does talk about him. I'm not 100% sure on which text that is. But how and why would it go into Job, being a later on book in this? And it says when the sons of God were, they met with God, that Satan came along with them. Not he snuck in, he came along with them. Like my interpretation, my understanding would be, we got a weekly meeting, and I know I better be there. And God wouldn't even say to him like, "Why are you here?" He was, "Where have you been?" God could have asked all of the sons, "Where have you been?" Just to get a understanding of where everybody's been. Have you been doing your assignments? Have you been doing this, this, and this, and this? And then he turns around and he says, "Have you considered?" He didn't say, "Don't mess with him." He didn't say, what certain things. He said, "Have you considered?" So in my understanding, I know we've gone over this, but it's like Satan would have to turn in a permission slip. He would have to get confirmation in order to do certain things to Job. He could not do certain things because God didn't allow him to. So the first go around, God said, don't touch him. So he couldn't touch him. And then the second go around, he said, don't kill him. So he couldn't kill him. He would have had to have permission for certain things. That right there is not speaking on what how Job could have reacted. That's not how, Satan made me react this way. Lucifer made me react this way because he took my family. He took my house. He took my crops. He took this. He took this. He made me react that way. So I do believe that we are our own worst enemy. I do believe also that there are certain things set up in order to provide tests for us, to provide growth and strength in us, for us. A lot of times we would have to go through certain things in order to overcome or achieve or to get to a new level of understanding or of seeing God. So that's what I believe.
unpacked a suitcase there. Basically, a school bus you dropped off. But let's go through it now. Um, there is no connotation narrative where the enemy is a real entity in the book of Genesis,
Right.
or Exodus, Leviticus or Numbers or Deuteronomy, so Joshua or Judges. However, when we come to Job, there is identifying reason that there may be something here that we allude to be Satan. And um, I think the depiction of that word to me, from my research, does not equate to a physical entity, but equates to the adversity. It is what hinders you, what stands before you. And now know that everything answers to God. And I know we are in a human mindset, and so we like, if we can see it tangibly, it then becomes real in the shape and form that it is. But this is the same God that said, if you don't testify of my goodness, I'll have the rocks cry out. Now we've never seen a rock talk, uh, but he says actively able to speak to one, that this one can turn into bread. It's possible. And then as well, being able to have them cry out and testify of how he spared them and then turn them into bread. I think for the one who would turn what is it, 2 fish 5 loaves of bread into feeding thousands, he's able to do in anything. And I think since he's omnipresent, that's outside of time, but having control of time, speaks to tomorrow. I think Job is going to come to a trying point, not to test him for him nor for God, because God would be the tempter of no man. He would not push you either way. That would, I think, in my depiction, be infringement on your freedom of will, to sway you either way. But real love is allowing you to decide the road that stands before you. Now, the problem with this statement is that we're born in sin, shaped in iniquity. And so before I even have a chance to sin, I'm already born in it. And I'm shaped in stuff that is preset for me, but not predetermined about me. So everything I'm going to do, I'll already do, even though I don't know it, and God does, but doesn't control it. He allows it through the freedom of will. So if I lied yesterday, there's a fate that I face tomorrow that I think he's speaking to. In Job, you cite that text. He says that when the sons of God will come to present themselves before the Lord, that uh, Satan was amongst them, or came also among them. I think as he's one with them, I think it would word it a little differently. And of course, we lose some things in translation, of course. And if not, then it's the influence on the text. Is that if we want to make him a person, we'll find the right adjectives to make him a person, or pronouns to make him a person. If this is tomorrow God is viewing, then would it not be the consideration to, yes, I know that somewhere, some light, he may have done wrong. And I know in some way or some light, he may have sinned. And his judgment, his path that he's prepared for himself is to kill him tomorrow. Consider maybe not doing that. I mean, I think he pleads our case for our lives many times, that death should have been taken us, because of just the life that we lived yesterday. And I think God is pleading for his life, not in consideration of the attack over him, but the adversity of what he would make him fall prey to.
Um, so, in the book, or in the Bible, it talks about the Leviathan. Um, big reptile, snake, lizard, whatever thing it is, that is further talked about in Job. Um, the way that when God is speaking to Job, the way that this thing is described, this would be to me one of the things that God would have created in order to destroy man, to along with fire and water, drowning, whatever. Um, so he wouldn't have to use um, Satan, Lucifer, or whatever the case may be. And it's like I think you touched upon this, or we talked about this a while ago. It's like, so if there was a entity, a person, that whatever the case may be, who fell from heaven, um, and who's roaming the earth to hinder all of us, why wouldn't God just take him out? He created us for his amusement, for his purposes. Why wouldn't he just? And now Satan's gone. We we don't even understand and see things like that in the Bible. If God is almighty, all powerful, why would he allow this entity, this being, this whatever, to just roam the earth and run amok amongst us, to hinder all of us, to die, to be condemned to rot in a fiery place that makes no sense if God is love? I understand that we have free will, and certain decisions you go down can hinder you and get you stuck in situations. Um, I do believe that God would allow you to go through certain situations so you can see the error of your way, so you can be strengthened, so you can come back to Him. Um, because this fire is hot. Let me go back over here to my dad and get bandaged up. So, like I said, with that being said, why would He allow a being that He created to just run rapid and crazy, but then He would do so much damage and destruction to us every time that we fell victim to sin, or so much sin. He didn't even kill Cain after Cain committed murder. He said, what have you done? I'm going to put this mark on you, and you're just going to be pretty much stuck to roam the earth, and everybody knows who you are. And if anybody touches you, though, they're going to receive a fate worse than yours. And so, like, he would still protect Cain while punishing him.
Well, I think that's the fighting right there. Is that it's not punishment, is wages. Is that when you do something, here's the road that is created, the timeline that's before you, because the work that you do through sin has to pay you, and it pays in sin. The problem is that we don't see it that way. We see it as like directly disobeying God, and then He spanks us. Is that you're free to create whatever path you want to see, but it's based off of you working in sin or you not working in sin. There is a perfect path here, and God is saying, well, I don't want you to know good versus evil.
Right.
Where over here is just perfect. And so now that you're picking, now we're off of this road and onto that one.
Right.
So we're off and now we're always presented with, is it good enough or is it not good enough?
Right.
And either way is still working in the disobedience, because I didn't even want you to know that in the first place.
Right.
So it's not that these are commandments I don't believe. I think these are, hey, by the way, so that tree, maybe I don't want you to, I see how that could turn out. And advising you, maybe don't drive so fast. Like, you may not want to eat pork. Like I'm not going to kill you if you do. And I think that's why He doesn't kill him. But He sets the predate for him that, like, it leads to death. I promise you. You may not see it, but you're going to die today.
So He would say to Adam, look, if you eat this tree, you will die.
Yeah, I just said that.
Eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm elaborating. Yeah, eventually, um, I want you to live forever. I want you to be here with me. Don't eat from that. He would eat from it, and then as he would say, they've eaten from the forbidden tree of knowledge of good and evil. We have to get them out of the garden, lest they
Yeah, that the man has become like us,
right.
lest he takes his hand and will eat from the tree of life and live forever, and sin live
Right, oh, right,
forever.
right.
And the difference is that, like, this is the path that you chose. And so, here's what I'm saying. The confusion in the text goes here. He said, "For in the day that you eat will be the day that you die." But by our understanding, Adam lived. Now, I know that influence of interpretation would lead us either way for people to like try and explain it, but that's not what it says. By our defining, death is dying today. Now, I know God not to be a liar, so there must not mean that God lied, but there's something we don't understand.
May have been we Adam died to God, like as far as
Didn't,
um
because
like
he's
being able
found talking to him again.
no. What I'm saying is that is lived in a spiritual place in a spiritual world where like it's you're uh immortal